Housekeeping is an important part of the prevention of healthcare-associated infections. The contamination of surfaces and objects in the residence environment may be the cause of isolated or epidemic infectious processes. Successful housekeeping requires the use of protocols based on a scientific basis, regularly updated and evaluated. Housekeeping must be planned, organized, and recorded. Professionals should be regularly trained. The products used, as well as the equipment and techniques, develop continuously, such as the use of steam, broadening the range of tools available to professionals. We will visit the retirement nursing home at the Ussel Hospital later to illustrate the use of the steam method. But first, let us go to visit the nursing home La Chênaie. We will follow the professionals there to better understand the key points of organization and processes. Upon her arrival, Stephanie consults the table of products and the protocol for alternating between detergent and combined detergent disinfectants for floors. Some rules are immutable. Gloves are mandatory for all contact with products. Also, never mix products. There is a risk of dangerous chemical reactions, as well as a risk of inactivation and incompatibility. The bottles are clearly identified and closed. When using dilution equipment, ensure they are maintained and kept in good condition. Warning: do not use food packaging for cleaning products. Stephanie is preparing her trolley by selecting the material she needs to perform all the scheduled tasks. She uses equipment in good condition, clean, and that complies with safety regulations. Warning: do not use the following in healthcare situations: sponges, coconut brooms, or wooden handles.
Bonjour Madame la Pébi.
Bonjour.
Me permettez-vous de faire votre chambre, s'il vous plaît?
Mais bien sûr.
Très bien.
Hand hygiene is important at the beginning and end of cleaning, as well as whenever necessary, particularly when removing and changing gloves. In the absence of the resident, ventilate the room. In their presence, offer them the option and cover them if necessary. Dispose of waste. Descaling products and disinfectant detergents for healthcare have a contact time required to be effective. Stephanie begins by applying this product to give it time to work. A logical sequence must be respected in the workflow, from the cleanest to the dirtiest and top down. Stephanie uses a disinfectant detergent to wet wipe higher surfaces. For daily maintenance, areas commonly touched are wiped to reduce the risk of spreading germs by hand. She wipes in a single pass. Sprays the wipes and not the surfaces to limit and reduce aerosol dispersion and penetration into material sensitive to moisture. She follows a logical workflow sequence, proceeding from the cleanest to the dirtiest and top down. After changing and impregnating her wipe, Stephanie will wet wipe higher surfaces in the bathroom using the same sequence. For wet sweeping, the gauzes are pre-treated and so are wet and must remain in their packaging. Place a single gauze under the sole of the broom. Wet sweeping should start at the farthest point from the entrance of the room. In one room, in a small space and without furniture, wet sweeping is done through semicircular movements. This operation is used to retrieve 90% of loose dirt on dry and smooth floors, limiting their takeoff into the atmosphere. Never lift the broom. In this order, remove the gauze from the brush at the threshold. Lock the dirt in by folding the gauze, and put the gauze in the rubbish collector. We are now ready to wash. Flat mopping, like any washing procedure, is preceded by a wet sweeping. This technique is the same and Stephanie begins with the most distant part of the room and performs semicircular movements. The flat mop relies on a chemical and mechanical action to remove dirt adhering to the floor and microorganisms they carry. When using a detergent disinfectant, there is also a specific disinfectant action. The mop is removed at the door.
Donc nous avons réalisé des groupes de travail pour produire et valider un ensemble de protocoles. Au quotidien, notre travail est basé sur la planification des tâches à réaliser en conciliant les besoins de l'institution, mais aussi bien sûr ceux des résidents. Nous avons des documents de traçabilité qui sont de véritables outils de l'organisation qui nous permettent un visuel global et précis des tâches à réaliser. Pour compléter notre démarche qualité, nous travaillons sur des fiches d'autocontrôle par auto-évaluation de l'entretien de la chambre.
Let's deal with the treatment room.
Sylviane, ça t'embête pas? Je peux nettoyer la salle de soins?
Oui, je peux refaire des soins.
We must first change the rubbish bag, and as always, order and method are important in the workflow. Cleaner to dirtier, and from top to bottom. Above all, do not forget parts frequently touched, such as handles. Virginie will now carry out floor maintenance. Hand hygiene and wearing gloves should now be systematic. It is important to wet wipe all surfaces frequently touched by all visitors, residents and nursing home professionals to limit cross-transmission and the risk of an associated epidemic. Respecting a logical sequence in the workflow becomes second nature, the cleanest to the dirtiest and starting from the top down. Cécile performs these actions in a single pass. Cécile does a wet sweep and a flat mop. Upon removal of gloves, also clean hands. For open spaces like the dining room, the ideal solution is a mechanical floor maintenance method. After wet wiping of all surfaces above, free space is required. Clear a portion of the room of all the furniture in order to start the mechanical floor maintenance. The floor scrubber allows the in-depth mechanical cleaning combined with the action of a brush and water aspirator. It washes and dries simultaneously in one pass. Start with the edges and end in the center of the room. Finish the edges and corners inaccessible to the machine by hand washing.
Notre EHPAD est engagé dans une démarche d'amélioration continue de la qualité. À ce titre, nous travaillons sur la prévention et la maîtrise du risque infectieux. Cette démarche concerne l'ensemble des services de l'établissement, les soins, mais également les services hôteliers. En collaboration avec le Séclin Sud-Ouest qui nous a fait bénéficier de son expertise, nous avons réalisé une première auto-évaluation à partir du référentiel national. Ce travail a permis d'identifier les points forts et les points faibles de notre organisation.
Now, let's go to UCell to discuss the STEAM method.
L'EHPAD venait d'ouvrir dans des locaux neufs. C'est pour nous le moment propice à la mise en place d'une nouvelle façon d'entretenir les locaux. Nous avons pensé que la vapeur présentait plusieurs avantages. L'efficacité détergente est remarquable car elle permet la destruction du biofilm. L'efficacité désinfectante est à l'heure actuelle démontrée. En termes d'écologie, il n'y a plus de rejet d'effluents, ce qui réduit l'exposition des agents. En termes d'ergonomie, il est intéressant de noter une réduction des efforts physiques à réaliser.
The cleaner inspects his trolley, cleaned and prepared the day before. This is an opportunity to add supplies to the trolley if necessary. In the absence of the resident attending a group activity, Thierry always starts by disinfecting his hands by hydroalcoholic hand rubbing, then a visual check of the required replenishment, then he empties the rubbish bin. It is important when using paraffin gauze for wet sweeping to open the bag in a corner to avoid drying of gauzes in the package. Only one gauze under the sole of the brush is required. The debris collection system used here means the cleaner does not have to bend over. Thierry uses the toilet descaling product, flushes the water and pushes the water a little with the brush in order to lower the level and allow the gel descaler to work at the air-water junction. The toilet will be flushed by the second cleaner when using the steam to give the product time to work.
Dans notre expérience, la vapeur a pu être déployée sans modification des effectifs, ni retouche à la grille horaire. La logique de l'entretien ne change pas, seuls les outils diffèrent.
The cleaner applying the steam enters the room after Thierry leaves. The device is plugged in on arrival. Before using the steam in the first room of the morning, 10 minutes of heating is required. Stephanie adjusts the brush, sets the thermostat at full to purge the unit. Stephanie covers the brush with a microfiber cover. The thermostat is set to position 1 or 2 for the maintenance of high surfaces. The vapor stream is switched on and off using a button on the handle. As with the conventional method, the cleaning of higher surfaces is done in this way to save the cleaner energy. For the daily maintenance, only the areas exposed to touch are disinfected, keeping in mind that any dirty surface should be cleaned as needed. After surface treatment, floor care begins. The steam mop is adjusted and the wiper is set up under the sole. It is important that the steam mop pad is positioned in front of the passage of the wiper blade and the handle facilitates this maneuver. Whatever the method and equipment, it is important to clean and store equipment correctly after use. Back in the cleaning room, the staff deal with textiles and waste according to the protocol. The trolleys are emptied and cleaned using steam when using this method as shown here. As part of the process put in place by the facility, staff record the maintenance tasks carried out and sign the document. It is important to clean the machines by wet wiping, including the cables. Then the tanks are drained. Plug in to recharge the battery. For a conventional trolley, wet wipe and empty the waste products. A well-maintained environment and perfect cleaning guarantees the comfort and safety of residents and their families, but also that of professionals. Different approaches are possible provided there is a strong institutional commitment and professionals who are aware of the issues and experts in the methods applied.